Krishna Deva, welcome, and
Thank
Rimini
you.
here. You're very welcome. Eric, it's great to have you back again. And so, what we were wanting to do is just kind of check in, and Rimini has a really cool technique that she uses to work with artists to really uncover what's going on within them to unleash their voice, I believe it is. Jared's had the experience of working with her as well. And so we wanted to check in once she is able to be present, but she's got a little one that needed to get tucked in, so that might be part of what's going on there. But we thought we would just check in for now and see where you're at in terms of your project, Eric, and what you're getting out of this. Krishna Deva, usually there are more people on here, and today kind of felt interesting. So, Jared, do you have anything you wanted to contribute as we get the summit kicked off?
Um, yeah, it's just I think the old saying, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions," and it's a hard thing to think that way, but the reality is as we're putting our music together, it's good intention isn't enough. We've got to look at the overall message of what we're saying and the overall feel of how we present it. And as we're making the selection of what's going to be included, I think that's going to be a big part of what we're looking for, is things that work together and have a greater cohesion for the message and for the benefit of healing, but also helping people along on their journey of life. So that was my contribution. That was just a thought I wanted to throw out there.
Absolutely. Thank you. And welcome, Janine. Great to have you on again today as well. Thank you. We're just checking in. It's a bit of a different vibe today in terms of just fewer people, but very valuable people that are in the call today. And I know, Krishna Deva, it's your first time on today, and we haven't really covered much of anything. So you're probably more so curious about what's going on and what this is. So just as a recap, this is an opportunity to create a compilation CD where we are each able to put forward music that is of a higher frequency. And we're looking for 22 artists to be able to contribute to a CD that is going to ultimately raise the vibe of people that are really in that sacred sojourn of the soul, of transformation. We're going through it as a collective, we're going through it individually. So I, in the previous summits, have introduced the Hero's Journey or Sacred Sojourn of the Soul teaching, just to really make it so that it is the artist that understands the journey that we're going through, as well as the journey that the person listening to the music is going through. And so, very much being mindful, I sent out a message yesterday with a link to a video that I'm not sure whether you've had an opportunity to watch, by Michael Seegers, who works a lot with the teachings of the Ascended Masters. And I asked him to put together some teachings in regards to music where frequency is concerned, and sound vibration, and the impact on the aura, and just to really give us as musicians the opportunity to understand the impact of what we're doing, even though we do. And that's why the ones who have joined in today, and welcome, great to have you guys on as well, thank you. We just wanted to really just keep checking in every 2 weeks for summits to gather the energy. It's the mastermind. It's where you bring two or more like minds together for a common purpose, and continually pour into the artists, who then have the resonance imbued into their frequency to be able to put into the music too. So that's part of why I asked Michael to put together that presentation. And I understand that there is controversial material in there. So I would love to get started and just ask anybody if you had feedback on the message, or if you guys have any feedback in terms of where you're at in the process, and any questions or what's coming up for you as we create something together.
Mm-hmm. Will this be audio and video as well, or what do you think?
The compilation CD?
Yeah.
Well, each artist will be in charge of their own, as far as if they want to do a video for it. But they're also in charge of their own music. So we're gathering the music, and then the rest of the presentation is dependent upon each individual artist.
Okay. Yeah, because the form that people will see it will be what? How will people be experiencing that music?
Through the regular channels of music distribution. So you have, one of the biggest forms is YouTube. Obviously, doing a video would make way more sense, because people like that audio visual combination, especially when they're being introduced to something new. So YouTube's actually one of the biggest discovery places for new music there is. And then we have, just different platforms of distributions like Pandora or Spotify or iTunes. There's all these different channels. There's Deezer. The list goes on and on and on and on, of all the places where people regularly listen to music or gather music. And we're going to target all those main regular commercial channels of music distribution.
Okay. Yeah, because one of the important aspects I find in performing and experiencing music from others is the connection that's made between the performer and the audience.
Yeah, live music.
One feeds off the other, or to have the sense that you are connecting, and the audience to feel like they are connected. So creating a space before each performance really sets the stage for that connection between the performer and the audience. So I would encourage people to help create that space before their performance by saying something of themselves, how it is that this music moves them, or how they are moved through it in a really authentic way at the time they do that, or the story behind how it is that they came to do that type of music, or something, in a minute or two or something. And that would really be beautiful. Of course, and YouTube has the option of the audience commenting on how well that took place for them, right? And that the two could feed off each other, so that there be opportunity for some live and some kind of feedback, like a performer could do a piece and then release the next one the next day after comments. I'm just throwing out a couple of ideas.
Yeah, there's all, each performer that we're working with is, not each of them. Some of them are brand new, but others are seasoned performers and have their formula for what they do for their stuff and what works for them.
Yeah.
We're really just trying to come together and support and be a place of support, mutual support, because we build each other, and we can't help but be built ourselves.
If I could jump in with an idea, I totally agree that having something interactive and context for the music is to allow the music to have its space on its own. Listen to and just close your eyes and have it really reach you. It would be nice to have that without spoken and that comment, so you can also just have it speak to you without having that obligation of, or kind of combination of comments. But what we could do, what could be cool to also give that its space, is when we release the album, make a special video for YouTube where each performer has like a minute introducing their song, talking about what the song is about, and then we play the song and making like a long kind of deluxe special about the album, so that we have both things out there. We have a space where people can comment and they can interact with us and they can learn about the story behind it, but we also have that collection of wonderful, empowering, positive music that you can just listen to when you need something that just goes through you. I think that could be a nice way to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We had also, I think I messaged last week about doing something of that, so that people did have the introduction, so that great idea. And so absolutely we want to make that part of it. And then as this comes out, the beauty of bringing 22 artists together is that then it's the cross promotional opportunities, and it's the space that we're creating here, even though it may not necessarily, we don't necessarily know the outcome of what comes from a meeting like this when we gather, and we don't necessarily know what's coming. And as you know, as more people come in, then it's just like it feels more like a summit. But at the same time, in the scheme of things, it's all growing us, and there is incredible people on here. And as I said last time, what I would really like is if you guys could submit the songs, and when you do, if you put in where that came from, when you penned it, or what was going through at the time. I think that was some of what I had mentioned last week, but this really is just coming together as we're going, as we're building. So great ideas and contributions coming forward from everyone, and an opportunity to highlight your music as well. So in these summits, what I was really hoping would be that more people would bring their music forward, so we could do a little feature. So we could do a 1-minute feature of somebody's music each summit, so that then we're getting used to each other's music, or getting familiar with what everybody's doing, and then we can start sharing, and then really just kind of getting it part of the culture we're creating in terms of supporting and encouraging and endorsing one another. And then you also, you share somebody's video this week, and then when the music's coming out, then your people say, oh, I know that face too. And so then it's like they don't just want to listen to your song, they want to listen to the other ones too. Now, in terms of what everybody brings in addition to the music, we all, being drawn to something like this means that we're generally at a higher level in terms of our perspective of how things come together. And Rimini has an incredible process that she has actually, we were talking yesterday about actually setting a workshop opportunity where you guys can actually go through a guided process. But before actually going through that, I imagine you would like to understand what that process would be. So we wanted to give Rimini an opportunity to introduce what she does, how she does it, and how it could really help each of us to be able to get to the next level within our craft. And then if you feel like you've got something that you could really take people through that you would like to do as a give back to other artists as part of this, it's a great way to just expand your horizons, give you more experience, but more importantly, well, not more importantly, but equally as importantly, to be able to actually help others who are helping the world through music. So Rimini, if you wanted to give an introduction, we would love to hear about the process that you will guide us through at a later set date.
Sure. Hi. Good evening. Well, evening here, daytime, I guess, for everyone else. Nice to be here with you all. So yeah, basically, I am both an artist and a healer. And I've had a vision since I was 7 to A, sing to the world, and B, empower other artists. It's been very clear that was kind of my role here. And so right now I'm working on introducing a new well-being movement into the music industry, because I feel like there's a massive gap in the way that we manage and support our artists. Because I feel like what we offer in terms of input to our culture and our society is so valuable. Like our energy and our frequency and our creations and our ability to channel those and put them out there is incredibly valuable. And so far, we see the value in terms of the monetary impact and being able to sell out stadiums and tours and records and all of that stuff. And the music industry to date has been very good at kind of building that and promoting that side of stuff. like in terms of monetizing, but in terms of actually like seeing the preciousness that is music, the pressure, like the integrity of how valuable and the impact that it has on an individual, how it has an impact on the collective as a society, our consciousness. You know, it has the ability to lift or suppress. And I feel like the journey of the artist needs to be respected, very integral place. And so I'm having conversations with music management companies over here in London to introduce the process of well-being that comes as a foundational aspect upon which music careers are built. So a new artist will have the fundamentals of meditation, nutrition, like so many different all 8 areas we're going to be focusing on, to really make sure that they are able to build with a really solid foundation, able to manage the pressures of being in the spotlight the whole time, and also, yeah, stay true to that purpose, and really step more into themselves as they evolve as artists. And so one of the things that we're going to be offering out to as part of this well-being, I guess, movement is something called a Recode. Is this amazing tool that I've learned from a group called Mind. And basically how it works is, I'm sure you all are aware that, you know, who we are isn't just our physical being, right? We're like energy ball that contains these emotions, you know, past life information, genetic information, like so many different elements that kind of all cross-pollinate up. And we're out with this like unique imprint of being that carries all sorts of different informations with us wherever we go. And, you know, we're able to, as musicians especially, we're able to access different aspects that you can't see, right? We channel music time, that's from this, it's coming through. And this field that information and beauty and art, it has intuition in there as well, but it also has like a whole set that we bring through. So for example, I got really bullied at school, really bullied, and I couldn't stand up in public and say, like, speak. I would just stutter. I'd get really nervous, but then at the same time I knew that I wanted to go and public speak, and I wanted to, you know, empower people, I wanted to sing, but the first few performances I was like sweating, my palms were sweating, like I was just a mess. But this information, like I could feel my purpose, but I had all this other information that was conflicting around the ability to really step in and own power. It was like self-worth, you know, beliefs of what people were going to think or say about me, like all sorts of stuff, right? Just a wall that I had to kind of climb over. It's safe over there and just be myself, essentially. And so, yeah, so basically, Recode, absolutely phenomenal. Can't even put to have precious and insanely amazing information. And able to work with your consciousness, like a field that connects all of you. And I can speak with it to ask it to, like, basically get a positive focus of where we're going. And say, see that really cool thing over there? Create? Yeah, cool. You feel this dense energy that's kind of blocking me from stepping into it? Yeah, exactly. And it, and then what's left is, like, wherever you're standing, there's a tension seek resolution. So if you're standing here, over here is your side of reality. If there's no resistance, you're going to ping into that side of reality. Does that make sense? So what we want to do is get you guys a creative tension of where you want to go with your vision. And it can be anything. It can be music related, or it could be something personal. Not that isn't personal, but you know what I mean. And yeah, just get you being able to flow freely without means of experiences and limiting beliefs and blocks that we don't even know where they came from because they were handed down from us from our family line. Like there's so much more than that, much more is seen. Yeah, so I wanted to offer that to the space because you can't.
You're a bit choppy. But we're catching most of it, but we're catching most of it, but it's not because you're moving, so I don't really know what to say, but we can hear most of it. It's just there is a choppiness for some reason.
No, it's my energy. I often interfere with electrician, so it's better if you tell me, because when I get to relax my energy tension. Okay, can you hear?
Say your words slower. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to offer to the space. Sorry, I was so excited. I just get them all out really quickly.
I understand.
Yeah, space session to help create flow in your lives, essentially, in a direction that you has, and yeah, just basically get you feeling, let's do this. And it would take about an hour. There's a little bit of education starts at the beginning, the aspects of us that need to be communicated. But you get to grant permission to work in the field. So everything that's done with permission and respect, and all about having you more space and more freedom.
Sorry, it's getting a bit worse. I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Sometimes it helps if you turn your video off. I've heard through Zoom. I know we want to see you, but that's just a suggestion.
That better?
We can hear you clearly now. Fortunately.
Cool. I mean, I was kind of done, but I don't know what you heard and what you didn't hear. Ask me any questions about what is missing. So I don't know, I don't know what you didn't hear. So
what I heard was that it's largely about understanding where you're blocked so that you can get back into a creative flow that allows us to feel confident enough to be part of this, and then everything else outside of this as well.
Well, yes, mostly, but it's not all we do. Someone's eating, I think, and it's.
I just muted.
Okay. It's about stepping into the reality you want to, and then we step into the now, and then we unpack any emotions around what or experiences or blocks that you may be experiencing, just to bring them up into the active experience, and then we tap into the superconscious field to ask it to melt all of those away, and it's very profound what the superconscious can create, basically, which will allow you to then move freely towards the desired reality. Does that make sense?
Does everyone understand the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious, and that difference between the mental filtering mind, the heartfelt emotional mind of the subconscious, and then the superconscious, which my understanding is like the field?
Yeah.
So I know from my experience working with Rimini that it's kind of like you're taking yourself outside of yourself to meta communicate with yourself about yourself. Just about your thinking and about how you're analyzing and about your processes of life. And so she helps you to step outside yourself and look into yourself to better understand yourself and to remove the blocks that are holding you back from progressing in ways that you think would be beneficial to yourself.
Who thinks would be beneficial? that would be something you'd like to participate in. Yeah. If so, what we can do is set that up for if we wanted to use. We can come together in 2 weeks and have 30 minutes if that works with Rimini's schedule. Then we can schedule that to be part of the next summit. And then if people can get in some music as well, so we can start really just creating that community and bringing some music into it, since this is musical as well. And if that works.
The process would take about 45 minutes to an hour.
And you can guide all of us through it at the same time?
Oh yeah, that's fine. I just thought you said 30 minutes. So if this says stick to an hour, then it might not fit in the time scale. But yes.
Yeah, perfect. Usually these are scheduled for an hour and a half. So I just thought like 20 minutes or just kind of touch in, and we can maybe do a little bit before, or we can schedule it for another time. But yeah, an hour would be what is required for that, and a great opportunity for us to grow ourselves as we come together in this growth-minded project. Does anybody, Luna?
Hmm?
I thought you had unmuted yourself because you wanted to say.
Oh yeah, I'm just touching buttons here, sorry.
Perfect, no problem. Does anyone have anything you want to add?
Well, I think, first of all, thank you so much, Rimini, for offering to do that. I think that's going to be super cool for all of us. That's really generous and amazing. Regarding the music, how many people have sent stuff in? Because I know I have, and I would love to have a little update on how we're doing.
Jared?
So, yes, I have. I do have what Luna's submitted. And then I have other people who've talked to me about what they want to submit as far as what they've done already. And then, but they just haven't gone as far as Luna has. So Luna, you're the first one. Congratulations. And then I have, like I said, a handful of people that have told me what they want to do, what they have in mind to send me. It's just a matter of them actually sending it.
The deadline for the submissions is April 2nd, which is a Friday. So we do still have more than a month. So obviously most people, especially with creative projects, we're oftentimes wait, not necessarily right at the beginning per se. And there are some people that are going to create original music or a new piece because of the frequencies that we'll be sharing with the world because of the process that we've been going through in our own transformation as being part of this too. So yes, Jared, when you receive those, what I was hoping we could do is get it so that it could be posted onto the meetup group, so then other people would be able to look at who's submitted music. So then that way it's not just Jared and I putting your music on and everybody's, because it very much is meant to be a community experience. You know, this is something that, and I know that it very much is, but it's just, please, just if you have a song you want to share with people, like put it on there, and you know, I'm considering this one, or this is one of 3, or just let's start the conversation. Let's get people hearing other people's music. Jared, when you get the song, if you would, you know, pass it on, at least, you know, share it so that I know we've got some music coming in. That would be awesome. And then if we can, yeah, just keep sharing each other's music. And like I've said before, I just kind of stepped up because this needs to happen, I feel, and it's just kind of evolved and it continues to evolve. So anybody else have anything? Because I'm just holding space right now and filling it.
Hi everyone. I was just gonna. Oh,
sorry,
go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, yeah, Jared. I know I mentioned to you that I have a previous, you know, composition, right, that I was considering. However, with this summit and these meetings, Laura, and just the energy that I feel, I'm actually working on an original composition as we speak. So, looking to get that to you, Jared and Laura, here soon, and you know, get some ears on it, and then we'll see what happens. So, and it's Jared, it's completely 180 from what I was talking to you about via email. So we'll see if the space that I'm feeling from all of this is you know, beneficial for the outcome of the art. So
definitely excited to hear it, Eric.
Awesome.
You guys, I just want to add something in there. There's two things. I think it is a great idea if we start putting the music up, because to hear what other people are submitting, not that we want to have exactly the same sound all the way through, but if there's a certain theme or a certain feel to the music. So let's say everybody is generally putting in a slower kind of tune. I think I'd rather put something also. I don't want to put something that totally is out of place, so that we take someone on a journey. If someone's listening to the album, it kind of flows in a way that makes sense, as opposed to one person putting a classical piece that, you know, is very, you know, it just has a certain feel to it. And then I put a pop country song that is totally out of left field that will take you out of the space of wherever you were, you know. I don't know if that's just something to be cautious of. The other thing is, Laura, because we're here right now, please forgive me if I'm making you repeat anything you've already said, because the emails were pretty thorough and clear. I just want to make sure, so submission of a song, do you want that would be probably to Jared, in MP3 or WAV file or whatever, that's how you want the song, right, that we're sending?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, MP3 is best, like CD quality.
Yeah,
you know,
I've got it mastered, mixed, everything. So I'll send that out today. The bio is just about the song, right? How we came up with the song. That's just 500 words, or I think you're saying written. Yeah, to explain it a little bit. Okay, and then the other part where you want a short video or something talking about the song, is that, am I right in saying that that's more for our, when we get together here to?
What it might be a really awesome, so what I can see happening from this, because of the community aspect of it as well, and then from a promotional perspective and just using the crowd energy, is that we can use those and even start doing, once the CD is ready, or after we've had submissions, to start doing like a watch party, or, you know, get it together where we could show the video and then show the music, and so do it that way. And then the 500 word piece was because we hadn't talked about the 1 minute video. So the 500 words piece was just to say, okay, we need more than it to just be a song, because what we'd like is to take people on that journey, which is part of the reason for sharing the Sacred Sojourn of the Soul, which really is the theme of the songs that we're asking for, to really take people on that journey. You know, where were you broken, and how did you survive? Like, we've all made it here today, which means we survived 100% of our darkest days, which props to us, and not everyone is right now, which is the sad reality of things. And it's like we always have talked about, you know, there's somebody that might be at their lowest peak in that dark night of the ego, where they're just fully fighting and they're not sure which dog is going to win, essentially. And it's just like, it's our song that they hear because we have actually talked about our journey. So maybe it's even the 1 minute presentation before the song that changes their reality. Or maybe it's the song itself that just helps them make it through and decide to say yes. So the themes are around the Sacred Sojourn of the Soul. And then if we can take people on that journey, and with the CD, being mindful, 22 songs gives us a little bit of extra room to move songs around, to make sure that it's not, you know, pop to rock to classic, and, you know, make it more cohesive. I'm not the one to necessarily do that either. Like I've said, like I'm saying I'll help and lead these and gather community, but in terms of being the best at music, I'm not. Like, somebody here is, or somebody that will come in is. You know, Jared's great. You know, you guys have music. As I just sing sometimes, and I have a message I feel like the world needs to hear, and Jared, same thing. So it's just, I say this, I don't have the answers, and I know that I probably say that too much, but at the same time, it's just like, this is something where, you know, somebody else has the giftedness. It's just like, we just need to get everybody in the right seat on the bus.
Oh, your voice is very nice. I've heard it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. But,
if I may just chime in, I think just to clarify things, the thing that I think would be the most logical to do is when people submit their song, to have them have that written part, so that you, when you're putting it together, know about it. But I wouldn't make everyone record the 1 minute video while submitting, because, you know, it might not be the right song, might change around, and it's work, and, you know, and then maybe once we have all the songs together, we can kind of talk about how we're going to make these videos, so we can all kind of make a similar format and use them, just to save everyone some time. And when it comes to the order of the songs, I'm like not amazing, but I do have my own radio show where I have to do exactly that thing every month. Like I have a group of songs and I need to put them in a good order, and I also have my own playlists. So if I can help with that in any way, I'm here.
Absolutely. I appreciate and welcome your help.
There's so many good people here. This is excellent. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say, I'm so grateful for you guys. So Laura, Jared, all of you, the work that you're putting in, it's a lot of work. So I just wanted to first say how grateful I am for every single one of you. It's just really nice to be part of this community. And let's see, I'm a keynote speaker for Recovery and Hope. So I go into churches, colleges, high schools. And lately I've been asked to be on a lot of podcasts because it seems like with COVID, everybody's trying to find, I liked what, I'm sorry, Krishna Deva, is that your name? What is your name? Is that your name? Oh, yeah. Can you pronounce it?
Krishna Deva.
It's exactly as it looks. Okay, I love that. I liked what you said as far as the visual thing and connecting. I think people hear sometimes with their eyes first, and with COVID, with the lack of live performances, I know here in Seattle they have a huge coalition to try to save some of the venues because everybody's going out of business, and it's just really sad. But a lot of songwriters have figured out ways, including podcasts. I know Facebook kind of put some restrictions on it, but Instagram. So one of my friends actually, and it's very successful, does a In the Flow. It's called In the Flow. And it's kind of matches a lot of what you're saying, Laura and Rimini, about the healing and stuff like that. So I would say that we can also take advantage of that as far as if you have connections, going on and speaking about this project and how it's going to all fit together, you know, with maybe what they're doing, and just be a voice. Because again, it's just getting it out there to all these different communities. And it's hard. It'll be easier if we all kind of take advantage of that, because we all have our own influences and, you know, communities. And it is really about community. I just wanted to share this with you. I'm trying to sell my house, and it's so much work, you guys. Like I'm just overwhelmed. And with that said, some of my music and some of the things that I should be doing are not getting done. And like a couple of days ago, I just went into this really low funk. I'm like, gosh, I'm not fulfilling my purpose. Like, why did I decide to do this? You know, what did I get myself into? And I just literally started meditating, and, you know, I'm a Christian, so my higher power, right? But what I did is I cranked on Spotify and just put on a playlist that some of my cohort members and Jessica Vaughn, you guys probably know of her, put together. And within like minutes, I felt better. You know, and it's a playlist that's all about hope, and, you know, the energy, right? So I just wanted to say that because it truly does make a difference. And even if you're in the lowest of lowest funks, just putting this all together and having, you know, and it's just getting the word out though, because not everybody knows about that. Not everybody, you know, they get into, you know, again, I partner with American Foundation of Suicide, a lot of these different things. And you would think that some of the things that we're talking about is common sense, it's common knowledge, but it's really not, because some people are like, oh, you mean my depression has something to do with like what I eat and how I like lack or of exercise, you know, just simple things like that. They really don't know. And so with that said, they may not realize about this whole frequency thing, and that music truly does heal. I mean, there's all kinds of information out there, but not everybody has access. Well, you would think they do because of Google, but not everybody even knows what to look for. So I just wanted to say how grateful I am for you guys for all that you're doing and just meeting and hearing every one of you every week, or not every week, every other week. So thank you.
Thank you. And they actually say that it's harder to make a decision when you have more than 3 options. Or the more options you have, it's just like, it's easy to choose between, like, do you want vanilla ice cream or do you want chocolate ice cream? Compared to go into Baskin Robbins and choose one of your 40 favorite flavors. And it's just like, well, I like this one and 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 this one. And then you just go into that overwhelmed space. And if you're already in a reactive, triggered space, your creativity is off. It's literally, you've got the mammalian, you've got the human mind, you've got the mammalian mind, and then the reptilian mind, which is the instinctual reactive one. And then the mammalian kind of deals with the function, and then the human is the conscious mind. So it's just like, if they're already in a triggered state, their creativity is capped, which means you hand them the smorgasbord and it's like, but I just want my favorite, you know, and it's just like, it's just too much. It's just like, just give me my comfort zone because this is too scary. So it's just like, if we can just help them understand, and just like John Maxwell always said, put the cookies on the lowest shelf. Music's the lowest shelf. Like, everybody has access. Like, we're already entering the field. You're already in the field as musicians. And so it's just like, we're part of the golden age. We're bringing it in.
Well, in this age where we have so much screen time, even more effort needs to be made to make that connection with people as we do things. So how it is that you prepare yourself for the performance, as the one lady was talking about, and how you do your introduction really sets the stage not only for your audience, but for yourself as well. And then they step into that space that you've created. I've been in choir situations and others where, wow, the introduction was just so beautiful. They were all ears ready to listen to it. And their hearts were already open. Their minds were already open to receive what it is that we have to offer. And knowing that, because you felt it as you delivered that introduction, makes your own performance even better, I find, or more connected to that spirit inside you. And you can sense, wow, I can imagine how this is going to connect with others when they hear what I have to offer. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, context is huge. Just the space you're in, the moment you get in front of art, or you get, oh, a cute dog, I got distracted. Hello. Anyway, the moment you're in when you listen to a song can completely change your perception of the song. You know, we as performers, we experience this a lot, I think, when we play live. Like, I've played gigs in an environment that maybe wasn't ideal for my music, where people barely listened to me, and it was not because I was playing bad, it was because it wasn't the right mind space for them. And I've played gigs where I had to play 3.5 hours because I couldn't stop, because I had such a great connection with the audience, because they were in the right mind space for that. And the same goes for music listening. I have some playlists, and when I'm in the right mind space, they can make me cry and really get out there and really help me out, just what you just described, Ginny. But when I'm not in that mind space, the same playlist might almost not move me at all. So that is a very important factor, and it's something that we don't always have the power to control as artists. We're just throwing it out there and hoping it hits them in the right moment.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does anyone have anything? Eric?
Yeah, really quick to that, Luna. I love that, because back to your question, Susie, about, you know, kind of having like a cohesive project and not maybe being the odd song out, or having that might actually be maybe a blessing for this compilation, right? Of having different genres or different tempos and rhythms and whatnot, because, you know, to your point, Luna, right? Like, if somebody's in a space where they want to really be in a slow mood or whatever, like, well, then they'll listen to the slower songs of the compilation. Whereas if they want to be more upbeat or positive in that moment and maybe even start dancing, right, Susie? Well, then maybe your upbeat country song will be the song that they go to that day. So I feel like music is beautiful in that way, because it's got just so many different rhythms and energies that, you know, we feel all these different moods and emotions every day in our lives, right? So we can connect with everyone in a different way every day with this compilation as well. So that might be something to consider, you know, as far as just having a mix of different songs?
We can take a lesson from the dance community. There's one called Five Elements, and there's another one called Ecstatic Dance, where it starts slow, builds, and then comes to a gentle close. So just another sort of approach to getting people to be into the music, that their body starts moving on them impulsively. That'd be beautiful.
So one of the, it's interesting because one of the reasons why I thought of doing a compilation album was a compilation album at one point really saved my life. And it was a crazy compilation. There was all kinds of different genres on there. And most of it was really mellow and really soft. And then there was this driving song that just had a really great rhythm and a really great sound to it. And I was driving through the night with a guy I didn't really know, but he was listening to music that was just putting him to sleep, and he was driving. And he's like, okay, well, you can pick the music if you want to find something else. And I found this compilation CD because none of the other music that was in the car was even anything I would listen to try and stay awake to anyway. And I put this song on, and it had this driving rhythm, and it kept us awake. And we played it on repeat until we got to where we were going, like 800 miles away. But it was just like such a lifesaver because he was falling asleep when he was driving. And when we found that very different rhythm from everything else, it just woke us up, kept us going.
Jared, The Weeknd Blinding Lights is that song for me. You guys know what I'm talking about? He did it at the Super Bowl. I was totally like crashing. And as soon as he came on and I was like up dancing, it just sparked like the fire under my butt. It was so cool. I'm like, okay, I need to write more music like this. Like, how can I do it?
Yeah, it was actually The Distance by Cake. And I had an opportunity to see them live before COVID really got going. And just by chance happened to meet John backstage and say, hey, your music saved my life. And that was just a really neat opportunity and experience, and thought, you know what, one of the things that I've really been inspired by Laura in is becoming a peaceful inner warrior and looking inward and helping others to look inward. And with the space of music that we have, helping people to look inward to save their life is a tremendous opportunity we have as artists. And so that's a big part of the inspiration, to bring it all together.
Absolutely.
We have different sounds that we specialize in that have the power to reach different people.
Absolutely. And I think having a song that wakes people up is a good idea. I mean, we don't want them to fall asleep. And in general, I think that music can build. Like, I have a very personal crying playlist that I haven't shared with the world, and it includes everything from metal to mellow folk. And, it has the same message kind of and feeling, and I know where to start the playlist for the certain emotional needs that I have in the moment. It's like my life-saving playlist. But some of the songs are so radically different. I think it is nice too, and I do try to put them in an order where they aren't like completely crazy, just like having two next to each other. But we definitely can have very different genres on a compilation and make it work. There is a really cool website, I don't remember the name, but you can put in 2 song titles and it will create a playlist that takes you from one song to the other seamlessly. It's really cool. Maybe I can find it and send Laura a link or something. And it really comes to prove that you can connect any 2 extremely different songs if you put the right songs in the middle. So I wouldn't let us be limited by that too much, but still, I feel like the important thing is to find that common ground in the energy and the feeling. The genres and the tempos are, if the energy and feeling is right, are going to be okay. They're going to blend together.
So I have a question, because it's been mentioned to share our songs somewhere so we could, within the group, hear them. Where would that be?
On Meetup, we have a group. So it's under the Peaceful Inner Warriors United group on Meetup. And then and then we've got the event there each week I've been posting when we've got these coming up. So I created an event which has the Zoom link and a little description. So if people wanted to come, so if we wanted to post it there, that could be, that's definitely a place that it would be nice to have the music featured. Though that each time will shift into a different, so we'd have to basically just take what was posted the one before and then move it over onto the next one, or else just keep on posting to the next meetup group. Obviously, what we can also be more proactive in is that when somebody does submit songs, what we could do is maybe even set a day of the week when then we share what has come in for that week, so that then we can we can send out an email with the songs that do come in. Jared?
Yeah, well, definitely, as we're sharing music that's already published or already out, then linking to that song is not going to be an issue at all. Just sharing that link where the song's already out and able to be heard. That's an easy thing to do. We're sending files that are music that people are preparing to release and haven't done that yet. I'm a little hesitant to do that. But where it's been released and where it's protected, then that's a great idea.
I think you can also just ask the artist when they are submitting music, hey, do you want us to share this, or do you prefer us not to? And just give them the power to decide that, if they're ready for that or not.
Right.
What I can do with the meetup groups is when you submit your songs, what I'm going to do is in the next event, I'll copy those and put the songs for the artists that are participating into the bio. Because right now we don't have, it's still a small group, so that's very manageable at this point. As it grows, as we get closer to it, that may become less feasible. But at this point, anybody that shares anything on the previous meetup group, then I'll just carry those over. So then we'll have like a running log in the bio of the people that are submitting. And so then people can actually see some of the artists that have come out. And if you do, or if you can submit the bio with it, just a little short, just even who you are, where you're from, and why you're wanting to be part of it, just could be a really fun way to share your work, and then also get other people inspired to come on board as well, potentially.
So within Meetup, there's a place where you could comment. Is that where you're talking about? Sorry, I don't mean to belabor this, but I don't use Meetup that.
Yeah, me neither. Please explain
more.
So I will just post into the chat the Meetup group. So that's the Meetup group, and if you sign up for an account, then you just get notified anytime, and then you see other events that I'm hosting on the Peaceful Inner Warriors United page. I don't know if there's definitely a simpler way. It's just figuring it out amidst everything else that we're doing. So definitely open to suggestions.
Could we not just do a SoundCloud? Mm-hmm. We could do a private link to a SoundCloud playlist, so that only people that have maybe your bi-weekly you send out, you could send a link to SoundCloud with a private link that you can only access within this group.
Yeah, that's good.
That's possible. Also, there's a for artists section on madhattermusic.org that I've linked all of the past summits to, and then also the meetup group is linked on there as well. That's another thing, is I could just create a list to the links that the music that's already published would be available there as well.
That sounds awesome. And if you share as well, if you share that website, so that then we all know how to send other people to it, that can help then with just generating awareness about what we're doing, because this is a pioneering project, really. Like, this is, I don't know of another project that is coming together like this, but I'm grateful for each of you for showing up with your animals and everything.
Yeah, dogs. You're such a blessed woman. That's amazing.
They're all rescues, and they wait for me to get on the phone or online, and they start doing this. Otherwise they ignore me, right? But they wait. It's like kids. Kids are probably that way too. When you get on, I don't know if any of you have kids.
Yes.
You do? So they wait for you to get on a call and then they're like, mommy, mommy. Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
A Zoom call would be a Zoom call with at least a pet or a kid in some of the screens at some point.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Does anyone have anything that you want to share before the end? We're coming up to the hour, so I want to honor everyone's time and thank everyone for coming out.
Laura, I just want to share something with you guys that's just, it's funny because of what we're talking about. This morning, a friend of mine who's not a musician, nothing, she's just a friend of mine. And she sent me this thing on my phone saying, are you aware of all these frequencies? All of a sudden she'd read something about frequencies and how music affects people. I'm like, how weird is that? You know? And I said to her, do you know, you don't know, but I'm part of this project. And I explained a little bit about it. And I said, and we're having a meeting today, that the fact that you sent me this message today, it blew my mind. It's so weird, you know, but that's what's incredible sometimes. Life is like that.
That's what this is all about. When, like, with Rimini and what she's going to be able to do with us, and like the sacred sojourn of the soul, the teaching, these are being imbued into our energetic frequency. It's just like before contribution, we have an embodiment of a new energetic frequency that only comes after the integration phase of actually going through it. And we're in it. So of course, the universe would be sending you affirmation of what you're part of, would be my perception, or how I would perceive that.
Well, and even though we're aware of that, you know, subconscious, we know that because we are spiritual beings and so on, but it still blows your mind when that happens. Like, look, I'm just going to share, I don't know if you can see, but there it is. She sent me this thing with the frequencies and all the different, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's really cool how something touches someone that you know and you didn't even do it, you know, but it's just an energy. I don't know.
What did it say about?
It says all the different. Where is it here?
It's something about DNA.
For example, 174 hertz removes pain. 285 influences your energy field. 396 liberates you from fear and guilt. So I've never seen this. I've never seen it put this way, but it's interesting what each frequency does for you in terms of healing.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah.
Everybody wants it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, you tell me what's the easiest way. I don't know.
Yeah, if you shoot it to Jared or myself, we can forward it.
Okay.
Should we have
a Facebook?
Yeah.
Messenger?
Should we not just have a Facebook group?
Yeah, that would be easier.
Yeah. All right. We can
set
up a Facebook group. Jared, can you set up a messenger group for us all?
Yeah.
You have more of the people that are connected, and then we'll all be able to be friends on there. That'll be nice.
Yeah, and then we can post music and everything else. All of it can just go there. I mean, we'll send you separately the music that we're going to put in the compilation, but at least we can post videos or stuff that we have, and we can watch each other's stuff.
And share with each other, yeah.
Yeah.
Just an easy way where everyone can participate. That's awesome. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll get that set up then. And then, Rimini, would it work for us to do your session for the next summit?
That should be fine. Yeah. So it's what date is that?
That would be on the next. The 23rd.
23rd. Okay.
23rd at 3:30 again, Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 UK time.
Yeah.
And so we will come together again in 2 weeks, and Rimini will take us through a process. So definitely drink lots of water before and after, leading up to it. Keep the vessels nice and smooth. I think, Susie, it was that little piece. Oh, you're going to send it to the Facebook group. Perfect. It was about the DNA.
I just sent it to you and Jared. I just sent it by email as we were speaking.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, because it said about DNA, and that all of that is so There's so much more than what can be seen. And when we actually tune into the things that we don't understand, and we don't need to necessarily, we just need to be able to just continue to understand how we're up leveling by connecting with people like this. So amazing. Jared, do you have anything you wanted to share as we cap off? And Eric as well?
I was going to say something.
Go ahead, Luna or Jared.
Yeah, well, ladies first, Luna.
Oh, okay. Thank you. How very gentlemanlike. I actually don't like that, but anyway, thank you. I was like a rebellious school child that when they said, can I have like 2 strong boys to carry the tables, I would carry 8 tables just to prove that girls can also carry tables.
Yeah, good.
Oh, nice.
I just wanted to, because last time I mentioned this, but I'm not sure how it went through. The songwriting circle that I talked about last time is this Thursday. So for anyone who wasn't there, it's an event where songwriters from all over the world can meet in a fashion like this on different tables and introduce themselves and connect. And it's kind of to bring the indie community together. And if any of you want to join, you are very welcome. If you want me to post a link somewhere to sign up, you can do. It's at 5 p.m. UK time this Thursday, so the day after tomorrow, and I'm very excited, and it's going to be very cool.
If you want to email that to me, I'll go ahead and link it into the Facebook group.
Okay, I'll do that right away.
Okay.
Eric, did you want to
share?
And
Eric?
Yeah, well, yeah, and thank you, Luna, for that, because I would love to join that. And then Susie, your comment about the frequencies. Yeah, Laura, I wanted to actually thank you for that post of the video with Michael that you posted, because after watching that, I had been aware of that. However, that really kind of opened up my eyes to like a lot more about the effects of music, you know, and just what it does to our energies and all of that. So yeah, thank you for that. I learned definitely something new with that video, and I'll definitely continue to consider that in my music, and just going forward, you know, what we can do to make it, you know, more of a healing kind of art form.
Thank you.
Right on. To wrap up, we've got a Facebook group that we're coming out with. We've got songs that we're getting, and just keep this energy going. This is really just a neat place to be, a neat space to occupy, to just feel everybody coming together and wanting to build and lift humanity. So thank you for being here. Thank you for participating.
Thank you for making this possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
everyone. All right. So the next meeting is the 23rd?
Yeah. 23rd.
All right.
And we will get to experience Rimini's blessing to the world. So thank you for that offer, and thank you for showing up today. Thank you for who you are, to have found yourself in a space like this. And please continue to share that this is happening with other artists that might want to contribute as well. And let's keep growing the movement of consciousness through music.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thanks,
all right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.